So, as I was saying, the Mario series is some of the best gaming experience out there. And I made a hyperbolic statement where I said, you know, match up any one Mario game with any other platformer game, just picked at random. Platformer Mario versus a platformer otherwise. And am I almost level 10 yet? I should be level 10. Yes, this fight should get me to level 10, and then I can switch out and train Barbool. And you will have a better... no, damn it. This is pissing me off. I lost my train of thought. You will have a better platforming experience with the Mario game 9 times out of 10. But I don't think that holds true for the original Mario Bros. I think if you look at the original Mario Bros, I would not even include it in the top 10 best platformers of all time, let alone the top 10 best Mario games. It doesn't even rank up there. Mario platformers. When we're now that we're talking about Mario games, when I say a Mario game, I mean a Mario platformer. We're not comparing apples to oranges with the different types of Mario games anymore. But the reason I say that is I think it is a matter of being so incredibly primitive, and also having a couple of design hiccups that kind of suck in retrospect. Like, it is a great example if you want to sit down your game design students 101 and be like, I want you to write a paper about everything that you can think about in the original Mario Bros. And how its game feel is, what its level design is like, and the mechanics that are in place, and all of that. You go nuts. The innovations that it made for the time with its, you know, long continuous levels with scrolling rather than having, you know, your screens discreetly bipped up by chunk. Bipped up by chunk. That's gonna have to be an episode title. I don't title these. What am I talking about? But really, the original Mario Bros. Is not a lot to shake a stick at. It's got your basic platforming down with tight momentum-based controls. Levels are linear paths, at best. Sometimes they have a shortcut, but that shortcut is generally just like a one-screen thing, you know, like a bonus area that skips you a little bit farther ahead in the level. There's not really any verticality to the levels. They're all single screen. It's just move from left to right, and there are intermittent obstacles that come between you and your path. Oh, I'm level 10 now, and I've just been grinding away here like an idiot. I should switch over to Barbool. Get him some levels. I'm on autopilot. I'm talking about Mario. Like those seconds there where my brain just slows down. Okay. So Spanx, switch out, and you are being traded in for Not Met, who has 5 levels to get caught up to you. So, and I don't think, unfortunately, that he does a lot of damage. This is going to go even slower. It's just that he doesn't take a lot of damage. I gotta pay attention here. So it's just intermittent. There's only one type of power-up that changes the way... Oh, God, yes, this is going to take forever. There's only one type of power-up that changes the way the game is played, in which... The Fire Flower adds in a little bit of an action platformer rather than just a straight platformer where you are able to do damage to the enemies. And mind you, I guess there is also the star and the mushroom, but that's just... I figure that the mushroom is your default state, whereas there is a powered down state. And the star is your invincibility, which just lets you focus on the movement. And there's only 4 or 5 types of enemies, depending on how you want to count it, you know? There's not a lot of variety there, movement pattern-wise. There's some that you land on, some that you land on and can reuse. It's pretty bare bones enemy design, level design wise, not to mention that a majority of the levels, like I think basically all of World 7, if I recall correctly, is reused reused levels that you've already played. They just have, like, maybe there are bullet bills now, or maybe there's a couple more spikes here or there, or whatchamacallit? Oh, this gonna take forever. It's just a not effective fight where, oh god, okay. This is where I switch out and use Spanx. Oh, am I gonna have to do switch in, switch out stuff to level this guy up? Yikes, why is that Spanx anger point? It's got a... Weird, okay, hold on. Okay, so not met gained 18 experience. Spanx gained 18 experience. So if I got a mirror matchup like that, swap out. Okay. I think it's just fairly bare bones, and then you get into World 8, which is I would send my student back to the drawing board and be like, make it better. These are unfair levels. Like 8-3 and 8-2 are some of the worst designed It's just, let's throw 17 Hammer Bros at a person back to back, or you have to make a screen-wide jump with a one-block landing platform. These are game design sins, and I have talked about game design sins before, and yeah. Anyways. So, the original Mario Bros, I don't think deserves... It's everything the original Mario Bros does. Mario Bros. Or Mario Bros. 3 or Super Mario World does better, explores deeper, and has the exact same lessons to learn and be taught. What I'm saying is I will not force my kid to play the original Mario Bros. For some, my mouse button clicked and I was like, did the game freeze? Ha! Anyways, I will not force the Mario Bros series onto any of the younger generation. I think that, or the Mario Bros. The series, absolutely, you should go and play World. It's maybe the best example, in my opinion, of 2D level design anywhere. And Mario Bros 3 is okay. It's more gimmicky based. It's a great gimmick platformer. And Mario Bros 2 is its own unique spin on things about how to show an evolution of a series. But Mario 1, not at all. Mario 1 is I would go so far as to say middling at best. I mean, it's great. Everything that has come after it owes so much to it, but you know, I don't think that Leonardo's sketchbook of his first stick figure is like, no, this is just as good as all his other drawings just because it came first. You know, you got to start somewhere. You got to learn these lessons. You got to experiment, and you can build from there. I don't think the original Mario Bros. Is all that good or what it's cracked up to be. It should not be fondly remembered by history, and it can be forgotten. The other games, however, no, they stand up the test of time. They are their own unique things, and other stuff people have not got to it yet. But I mean, I'm also would say, like, you know, people don't, when they're talking about their favorite Mega Man games, they don't say, oh man, Mega Man 1 is so great. It's the first one, and it's got a lot of rough edges, and it's not so good. But the original Mario Bros. Gun to my head, I'm gonna leave that out of my top 10. And for those that actually, you know, care about where that list falls down, is I gotta put Super Mario World like high up there, I think that the better game objectively is Yoshi's Island to Super Mario World. Yoshi's Island just does everything Super Mario World does, but it has a lot more mechanical nuances, and it's graphically 10 times the game. Like, ridiculously so. It might be one of the... It is... No, I'm going to put my foot down and say Yoshi's Island is the prettiest thing to ever exist on the SNES, and it's amazing that they were able to get that much art style and charm and character out of that chip system. Like, it's crazy. Can you... I do need to heal now, but I'm getting stronger. I have learned Mud Slap. I should check what Mud Slap does. Not bad. Summary. No, summary, please. What is Mud Slap? It is a ground type. It has 20 power, which is a lot less than normal. The user hurls mud in the target's face and inflicts damage and lowers its accuracy. That seems like kind of a bitch move to do, and I love it. I'm all about bitch moves. If I know stuff that's weak against ground. Dumb idiot me is thinking about things now, and it's lost in train of thought. Yoshi's Island, I think, is better than Super Mario World. You kind of gotta judge the Mario games on the 2D platformers versus the 3D platformers. Mario Land is also like bottom of the barrel for me. Mario Land is bare minimum Mario game. It's even half of it is a shmup, which is a discussion that we can get into after this. Is my feelings about shmups and roguelikes and the whole naming conventions. These are all conversations that we've had in one form or another on Discord. But it's good. It's good to air them for those who are not privy. But yes. What was I saying? It's half of it's a shmup and it's not even a platformer. But Mario Land 2, on the other hand, the 6 golden coins, I think is one of the best Mario game packages. It's very different. It is a bit of a mixed bag in that or I guess it's not a mixed bag. I think every single level in that game holds up against just about any other Mario level of similar complexity. And the only problem with it is that it has a severe difficulty spike right at the end that I think just a little bit more like gating in that last level would change, but that's a discussion for a completely different Let's Play that may or may not be coming down the pipeline. Spoilers. But it deserves to be up there with some of the greats. Again, I'm not as big of a fan of Mario Bros. 3 or Mario Bros. 2, but I think they're fantastic in their own right. And what other 2D Marios are there? And I mean, like, you can't even... You know what? No, I will put this up there, that the campaign mode for Mario Maker 2 is probably in the top 10 of the 2D Mario games, maybe top 5. I don't know how many, I can't think right now. And of course, I mean, if we're going strictly on the 2D games, like, I gotta put the Wario Lands and basically the Wario 2D games, although they're very different style games. I think they're also fantastic. I would put those above, like I said, the Mario Bros. 1, the Mario Land 1. I'd probably put it above 2 even. Most of the Wario games are above Mario Bros. 2 in my opinion. So that's kind of my rough breakdown. And then for the 3D platformers, I am entirely biased when I say that Mario 64 is my favorite, but I don't think it's the best. I think the best 3D platformer is a tie between Mario 3D Land, which is just some of the tightest 3D level design, period. It is stupidly fantastic. And then Mario Galaxy, the original. Whereas Mario Galaxy 2 is very low on the list. And Odyssey also ends up being very low on the list, I've already discussed, but that's personally just me. And then Sunshine, somewhere in the middle there, you know. But yeah, like that is my breakdown of the Mario series. That is my long tangential discussion, or discussion, not discretion, discussion. Jonah can word good. And yeah, I think that this grinding session is gotta be getting close to a close here. Oh, because I really do want to at least battle a gym leader somewhere in here. And also edit this video on all of these things. But before I go and close down this one long ramble of a grinding session and then go to fight the gym, I do also want to get off my back, like I said, my thoughts on the shmup or genre naming conventions in video games, which is related to calling side-scrolling shooters or top-down scrolling shooters shmups, which is short for shoot 'em up, which I think is a terrible name because it sounds stupid. And yes, it is descriptive. That's better than some, but it is kind of stupid. It's a stupid sounding name, and I kind of hate it. I'm just biased against it. There should also be then something called a schmide, which is a shoot 'em sideways, where they're sideways shooters, like a difference between a Jamestown and like an Arkanoid or something. Or Gladius, whatever you want to call it. These, and I'm also biased. This is a shmup with the more. I think Bullet Hell is a fantastic name, but not all bullet hells are. Sorry, not all shmups are bullet hells, but I think all bullet hells are shmups. I might be wrong on that because neither of those series or types of games are for me. I do not like them. I do not like them, Sam I am. I don't even like them with cute anime girls in them. So all of the Toho, Teehee, Tahahohos, just the two hues, are completely unknown to me. Even if good online friends with Seki Bonki, who I think that's how you pronounce his name, her name is named after Toho. One of them anime shooty girls. Not for me. But I just don't like shmup because it sounds stupid. It is descriptive. What do? You shoot 'em up. It is different than calling it a shooter game. I think they used to be called shooter games, but then, you know, you needed to differentiate yourself from what is, you know, a Wolfenstein or a Doom. It's not a shmup, even though you do a shooty shoot. You do a bang with a gun. There's a violence, and it happens because of gunpowder. Hell yeah! Kick ass and chew bubblegum. No. So you got to differentiate that. And then what happens when you've got, you know, 3D or third-person shooters versus first-person shooters? You know, from the over-the-shoulder or the top-downs and all that sort of stuff. You need differentiation there. So shmup at least gets it right in that it is descriptive of what you are doing in the genre, or what the genre is. What pisses me off to no end is that we still use, and I've already used this before, I said Metroidvania. What is a Metroidvania but a derivative of either Metroid or Castlevania? What is a roguelike if not a derivative of a game like Rogue? These are not how you define genres. I don't call all, you know, and this is, there was noir before this, but I don't call all noirs Chinatown-likes. You know, you don't, there is a genre. And now maybe it's because video games as a medium are very new, and they're an interactive media, and we categorize them a lot by how they are played, by the ludic nature of the game, not necessarily the narrative nature or the way the graphics are, or how they sound. Whereas, you know, you can differentiate rock or pop or jazz by the instruments and the instrumentation and the way that it's played and all of that. It has a very, it's performative, whereas this is interactive, so we need to have new naming conventions for that, or you know, there is a narrative convention which can be borrowed from books and literature to describe movies and stuff like that. But then again, there's, you know, differentiation between an animated movie and a live action movie, which is now being completely misapplied by calling, you know, the live action remake of, I almost said The Jungle Book, although they did do that, but I'm thinking of the Lion movie, which is just Hamlet, which name escapes me. The Lion King. I got there in the end, guys. You knew where I was going. Anyways, but it's not live action, it's all animated, but it's photorealistic. And anyways, or movies that are musicals as opposed to, or even then again, like a talkie or your dance movie as opposed to black and white or silent film and all that sort of stuff. But with games, we are still describing these genres as like other games that have come before them. And I think that is incredibly restrictive and narrows our design sensibilities as a medium, and also is just plain stupid. I mean, maybe one of the only other examples I can think of just off the top of my head is, you know, calling a traditional Greek story an... I have probably killed like 1 million of these things and realized just now that I never caught one. Let's see if I can't do that. But calling a traditional Greek story an epic. Is there an original? I'm thinking of the Odyssey is what I'm thinking of. I'm a dumbass. Anyways, but you know, defining an entire genre of video games, be it I can't think of it right now. Axiom Verge to the Wario Land 3 to what the fuck am I thinking of? To Hollow Knight, to Time Spinners, to there's been a dearth of Metroidvanias that have come out in the last little while here. And I'm not a Pokemon, I'm looking for a Pokeball. What the fuck was the thing named from Card Captor? Hey, no, you getting a fucking ball, mate. You wiggled 3 times. Get in the ball. Anyways, you know, like, calling those, no, they're exactly like Metroid, or they're exactly like Castlevania. Even half the Castlevania games, half of them aren't Metroidvanias in the traditional. The original Metroid, or the, yes, I want to give it a nick. The original Metroid, well, I guess the original Metroid is more of a Metroidvania than the original Castlevania, but you know what I'm talking about. Now, all I can think of is the Card Captor Sakurai. I think it's called Cupid. No, sorry, not Card. I'm thinking of Madoka Magica. I'm just gonna call it Cupid. That's what I do. It is a demon. It is a demon that is going to steal your soul and turn you into a magical girl. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. But like, the Metroidvania does not. You can't just compare them back. You're missing a lot of innovation that has gone on in the surrounding years, and just as much like a platformer describes what you're doing in the game. It is a game that's made out of platforming. Now, mind you, Metroidvanias tend to be platformers. I'm talking incredibly fast for all of these, just trying to get my stream of consciousness out. I blame it on the energy drink, is what I do. But, you know, or a third-person shooter. It describes the point of view and what you are doing in it. Even then, again, with a shmup. But a Metroidvania, it doesn't tell you what you're doing. Now, my proposed genre convention for that would be on a upgrade-based exploration platformer. But that is, you know, such a mouthful, it's meaningless. And then again, you look at what is a roguelike, or the watered down version of it is that a roguelite, you know, is the deck building card game Slay the Spire a roguelite, in the same terms that The Binding of Isaac is a roguelite, in the same way that Spelunky is a roguelite, in the same way that NetHack is a roguelike. You know, there are layers of abstraction, and I am borrowing this from the Crate and Crowbar, but you know, how many do is it like rogue, like, where I got my ass handed to me. I got my ass handed hard to me. That was bad. Not paying attention. What the fuck happened? Was that a critical hit with like a super effective attack or something? Where the number of rogues you say is how much it is similar to the game Rogue versus how many likes you use is how many new conventions or things, or teleglitch, or any other game that uses procedural generation and permadeath. You know, Rogue Legacy, or is it Heavy Bullets? Is that game? Fuck, I can't think of it. I can't think of it right now. Receiver? There are a million. One, procedural generation or proc gen has become increasingly popular in the Pokemon Mystery Dungeons. Has been increasingly popular in recent years as development team sizes are smaller, and so a way to, you know, spread that content paste as wide as possible, but also unfortunately it does end up being fairly thin, is by this mirror match is gonna take forever. I was supposed to swap you out. Dang it, Spanx is getting all of the goodies here. Is by you know, having procedural generation, having a library of stuff in the back end that the computer does. Would you say that No Man's Sky is a roguelike? I mean, by the watered down popular definition, maybe. Maybe you would. But then again, it could just be a survival sim, or a wild disappointment to fans and gamers alike. I'd say, having never played it and not really having any interest in it. But if it has procedural generation and permadeath, or at least, you know, progression that goes on over multiple quote-unquote runs, I think that makes it a rogue-like. And anything that is not a turn-based, you know, RPG, then becomes a roguelite. But still, you're comparing it next to Rogue, which is the convention of proc gen permadeath would be a much better genre, because you at least, or genre naming convention, because then you at least know what you're talking about. And the counterpoint is, I saw on Twitter people being facetious about calling all first-person shooters Doomensteins or Wolfendooms. saying that, you know, it's funny, what if we referred to everything as a clone of both Doom or Wolfenstein, which back in the day, you know, Doom clones, there was a name for that. But we grew out of that, and we came up with the term first-person shooter. So when will we adopt a different name, and does genre naming narrow you into, like, kind of, does it stifle the creativity of the art form? Is I guess what I'm going with is my big galaxy brain level. Well, what about this? Anyways, I think that I have rambled on about a couple of topics here long enough that I should go and fight a gym with these Pokemon that I have now. Let's see if I can't wreck some of these normies with my absolute chad of a not met. And Spanx and probably McCheese.